I've been reading some of y'all's mean comments, and some of y'all keep saying I look like a man. Well, at least I ain't Michelle Obama. Everybody call her a man all the time.
My advice to young girls is first of all, make sure you can pay your rent.
Michelle Obama is not a man, and neither am I. The reason why I know so well that Michelle Obama is not a man is because she and I are kind of living in the same shoes. We both get picked on. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the broad shoulders. Maybe it's the confidence. Maybe it's the overwhelming sense of being sure of ourselves. I don't know. Maybe y'all will help me out in the comments some more. But one way I know for sure Michelle Obama is not a man is because I don't understand her. I have a real problem with communicating with women in general. And when they say things like, hey, my number one advice for young girls is make sure you can pay your rent, it just kind of blows my mind a little bit. And here's why. On one end, it's always, you better pick a good man. But then they give you the game on how to chase a good man away. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a girl paying her own rent. I'm just saying if that is your own goal, what do you need a man for? And no, I'm not saying you should get with a guy so he can pay your rent. You see how my brain is trying to like catch up with how a lot of women's rebuttals are gonna come at me right now. It's just, I guess it's different for me because, my mom, she was married. The way she would talk to me is like to be respectful of a man, to be mindful of a man, to be mindful of my place as a woman, and to realize that, a lot of men are crude and, men have a tendency to act based off of how they were raised a lot compared to women. Like, I feel like women, we know when we're not raised right and we try to do things that compensate for it. Whereas men, they tend to look for people to validate their behavior. But my mom used to always try to teach me, there's a certain way that you have to carry yourself regardless of the men that you interact with. So I wasn't really given advice to like be independent. That wasn't like a big thing for me. It was just kind of, for me, it was kind of implied. I guess it came from me seeing my parents take care of each other, like my mom and my stepdad, like look out for each other. And I was like, okay, this is just what adults do. Nowadays, when women can pay their own rent and they have everything that they need and they're functional adults, it feels like they want to get a trophy for that. That was mean. I wasn't, okay, this is what I meant. It seems like women tend to want to have credit or get credit for doing what they're supposed to do anyway. I know society has like these safety nets for women. Like if a woman goes homeless, there's always a guy that's willing to take her in, whether it's a nice guy or a creep. Some guy's gonna be like, "Oh no, you don't have to sleep at the bus stop." Whereas with men, nobody cares. Nobody cares how a man ends up. And that's what I was trying to communicate. But even when I'm talking right now, like I know that a lot of women's ears are gonna perk up at me swatting at Michelle Obama's advice, thus proving my point once again. She is most definitely a woman. If you guys have noticed, a lot of times when I would do videos, I like to do them from the perspective of dealing with black men because I was raised in a patriarchal environment and men tend to communicate directly and effectively. Women, on the other hand, they say things, and then that small little clip of Michelle Obama, I'm all over the place because I'm like, what? And that's why I have such a hard time watching her podcast and stuff because my brain just goes. Anyway, one thing I will say though, when she's being less confusing, she was talking about women and their appearance and how they dress.
To strike that balance and to be thoughtful about what messages we're sending, giving, receiving. Men don't do that. My husband wasn't doing that. Same suit, put on blue suit, black, white shirt, different tie, you know? I mean, we're on a trip where there's 8,000 things happening in one day. We're on a safari and then we're at a meeting. And then, even the way they structured the day, it's like This is a man's schedule.
It takes a woman to understand that there are women days and there are men's days. And how she talks about how simple it is for men to just throw on a tie or whatever, that's a real thing. This goes back to me having a hard time with Michelle because I'm always chilling. Okay. I have to respect women more. This video, you guys are watching a breakthrough moment. Um, I don't have a problem with women dolling up as much as I used to before I started this channel. I'll say this. I'm a pretty low maintenance person. And I know that's not popular for a woman to be low maintenance. Um, I'm a very frugal person. I don't like spending a whole lot of money. Okay? I married very well. There are a lot of women that have dated my husband in the past. He likes to spend money. And he loves to spend money on the woman that he's with. He's a good guy. I don't like spending no money. So how we ended up getting married is pretty interesting. Michelle is complaining about how Obama always kept it pushing. When you're married to a man like Obama, you got to have a wardrobe, you got to have your makeup, you got to work around his schedule. Now, me, I married a man that he's always out, he does his thing. I'm a homebody, I do my thing. I cook, I clean, I take care of the house, the children are taken care of. And some guys, they like that. They like a woman to sit down, take care of the house. And I'm that kind of lady. Michelle married a man that requires a woman to travel, get her hair done and nails done. Her appearance is a major part of her marriage. Now, as for me, I could just be chilling, and I clean up something nice, when me and my husband and the kids, or even when me and him just have like a date night. But that's the thing. That is the nuance of being a woman, and that is the nuance of being a wife. There are men days, and then there are women days. And only women know how to discern between the two.